And we are now live. Gino Luke is in the building. That's him. That's not me.
Sorry.
Actually,
I wasn't paying attention.
Hey, what? Huh? I wasn't paying attention. My bad.
Wasn't paying attention. Sorry. Man, we are in here back again as if we were back for the first time because we have so much to talk about. We can barely even hold it together. Man. Where do we even start? Okay, where do we even start? Man. Okay, so there was a certain football game that happened yesterday.
I don't know if we could. I don't know if we could talk about the football game. Can we? Yeah, we can talk about it.
Can we? Yeah. I think we're gonna have to. I mean, we're gonna have to. We always talk about football, and we talk about not talking about football, which is a weird concept. But this is one time we actually can talk about it.
Hey, so, if for this, I literally was not paying attention to the football game.
That's the point. We did not pay attention.
I literally was not paying attention. I laid down. I took a nap.
Okay, Mo, go through the process of your watching this football game yesterday, and where were you, and what were your expectations, and what what were your emotions like?
I saw a little bit of it, and then had a quick meeting, and then came back and saw we are down 30-0, and I was like, I'm going to bed. I'm gonna go take a nap. I'm exhausted. My wife said the same thing, and as we lay down, I said, "You know what? I bet you we're going to wake up, and the Vikings are going to win." She's like, "There's no way. There's absolutely no way." I'm like, I just have a feeling.
Oh my!
And all of a sudden, I knocked out. I feel my wrists buzzing because I got the ESPN app on it, and all of a sudden, it's like I woke up. Hours later, and I don't know. Vikings.
Unbelievable.
Vikings. I don't even know what else to say about it.
Okay.
They're just ridiculous, okay?
So I was at work. I tune in at the end of the second quarter, and I'm expecting like some good results. I knew there was a game today. I told people, hey, man, we got a game today. Let's get ready. Mm-hmm. And I turn into this thing, and the game is at home, and we're getting killed. And I'm
destroyed.
Like, destroyed.
Absolutely destroyed.
Obliterated. So I'm listening on the radio, to the app, whatever the fan app is, and the sports announcers are making fun of the Vikings. And I'm like, wait a minute, aren't you supposed to be like helping or something like that? And they're saying like, man, this team is worthless. And they're like, So then they say, okay, so the key word, the catchphrase that they're supposed to say before they go to a commercial break is, and this is Vikings football. And so they get like killed by like 33 points to nothing. And the sports announcers go, this is Vikings football? We'll be back.
Hey, you cannot blame them one bit. It was terrible.
Terrible.
Just
33-0. It's like they didn't even score a field goal or something like that,
Yeah.
So I sit there and I go, don't lose faith. I don't know what had me say that or do that, but I said, wait a minute. I went to a game this year. And I walked into that place and the energy. I mean, I have gone to a Vikings game before in the old regime, and the energy in this place was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. I mean, they had war drums playing. The crowd is going. Every single person in there had on a Vikings jersey or a jersey for the other team. There was no dull fan. There was no middle. There was no middle ground. Either you were in it or you were not. You were not there. And the energy in that place, 70,000. So when the fans reacted to that 33-0, they say, this is not acceptable. This is not acceptable. Jefferson gets injured 2 times, comes out of the game 2 times, goes back in the game 2 times. And all of a sudden, this momentum and energy. I'm listening on my Bluetooth headphones. The Vikings, touchdown! The Vikings run the ball. Okay, what's the name? Literally dragged a guy into the end zone. He had to drag a guy into the end zone. He refused.
That's just.
They were putting up points like it was like I mean, I can't believe that. Like they were going up that field. They couldn't get up the field one time before, and then they're going up the field like it's candy from a baby. I was in shock, and then the next thing I heard was it's an 8-point game. I said 8 points. So the score got down to like 3 or 4 minutes, and it was an 8-point game. And I'm like, dang, they're not only gonna have to score, they're gonna have to get a 2-point conversion. And so that's when the guy starts saying, what is the greatest comeback of all time? What is it? No, he says, what is the greatest Vikings comeback of all time? And like, well, there's some games where there's down by 24 points and they came all the way back and won it in like 30 years ago. This game is like way more crazy because if you heard those announcers, they said, take the starters out of the game right now. Take them out of the game. Don't let anyone else get injured because this thing is over. They came alive, man. I'm telling you, they came out, and I told people this, tell people this all the time. That team has some resilience. Teams have been good before, but this team is like fighting for respect, you know. So and I think that's what the difference of this team and previous Vikings team is. This team, this is about respect, you know, because they're getting blown out, and they're like, you know what, we're not giving up.
I'll be honest with you, G. Like when I saw the score, it made no sense why the Vikings were, was it 10 and 3 at the time? It made absolutely no sense. The Colts were doing horrible.
30.
Huh?
The Colts were at 10 for a house.
The Colts were at 7 and 5.
Yes.
Or something like that. And I'm like, there's no reason why y'all should be getting blown out.
Blown out by the Colts.
But they did the same thing with the Lions. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I just
there's no reasoning.
It's like they're like, you know what? Let's just take a nap. We're going to just sleep on the field. Let's go lay down.
We'll get them next time. Number 1 in the division. They try to call them frauds. They try to say frauds. You know, if the Vikings are calling your phone, it's fraud. You know, and I think they really proved a lot yesterday that they were a good team and resilient. They do mess up, but they try to make up for it. So we'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
Look, they are at a spot where they have to play good.
Yeah.
Period. From now on, they have to play good because if they have another team do this to them, they're not coming back like that.
There's not.
They're not.
Never underestimate the contagion of energy, of hype, of the excitement. Because I'm telling you, man, I was in there and you got all those people in there going crazy. There was fans crying. They were crying. Kirk Cousins' dad was trying to climb into the press box. Okay. Imagine that. Okay, there's fans crying. There was bad calls. Like that game shouldn't have even went in overtime. There was calls that they took away like at least 2 of the Vikings touchdowns. But you know, anyway, they still came out. But I mean, just there was so much going on with that game. I mean, right. But yeah, I thought I had fun. It's been an exciting year for football, and I'm not really a football guy. I will admit that. But this year has been so exciting. It has turned me into a football guy. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Same with me. I started getting back into football. Same with my wife. She started getting into football. But I know what the people really want us to talk about.
yes. Okay.
And that's going to be the video
So-
games that are coming out. Any
Okay.
new video games that are coming out.
Yeah. Okay, there was just a video game awards.
Yep.
You know, I mean, man.
I didn't get to watch it like I wanted to, but I just saw the one and I'm like,
Okay.
I might have to get this.
Okay, there was a game in there that shocked me. That shocked me crazy. There was a game I used to play called Armored Core. Okay. And I'm looking at this trailer for Armored Core on PS5, and I'm just losing it. Like, I'm not a huge robot mech game guy, but this trailer, I mean, you would have thought Steven Spielberg made this video game. They got like robots in the clouds and, taking off like a runway and stuff. I'm like, they got the sunset on the robots and oh man, it just looked cinematic. It looked like visually impressive, man. This thing was crazy. I couldn't believe that, man.
No, the game I was looking at is that Jedi Survivor.
Oh
my gosh, G.
Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna send you a link real quick because
okay.
I'm gonna have you go ahead and sign up because they're doing this crazy giveaway with it too. Just look at this giveaway. Like they're giving away a replica of the lightsaber. They're giving away. Oh, I accidentally dropped it. The box that it comes with, the Cyberblade, the game, and then the player's choice, the person's who wins choice, either a PS5, a Xbox Series X, or a PC with AMD, Ryzen, and Radeon.
No
you get
way.
to choose out of those three.
That is crazy. Do you can you
or maybe that's for the if I did read that wrong, read the giveaway wrong, it might be for the game for the platform that it's supposed to go on, but normally they would say Steam, and that's what made me think it's one of those. You either get the PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series X, or PC. So I sent that to you so you could sign up.
Okay, I would definitely sign up for that because, okay, let's be real. That's the question. Did you beat the first one?
I did not beat the first one. The reason why I did not beat the first one is, I got married. So the game came out, I was playing, and I got married. And I stopped playing it because I had other things to accomplish.
That's right. That's a very good. Hey man, I'm telling you that other game is so long. I mean, it's not long, but it's like when you get to certain boss battles. I'm talking about. There was a boss battle. You know which one I'm talking about? The first, second sister. Man, that was probably since Kingdom Hearts 1. The hardest duel fight I have been in on normal since Kingdom Hearts 1. I'm talking about I'm on the joystick, mashing the X button, counter, dodge, roll, sweat coming down. Man, okay. I had fun. Now that's the main takeaway. If you're playing a game and you're getting whooped, if you're having fun, that's what counts. But if you're rage quitting, I can't rage quit anymore, man. These controllers are too expensive.
Oh yeah, no. That's a $80 controller that you rage quit on. You can't be doing that.
No. But yeah, that fight with that second sister, man. The first second sister you get to, man, that was like hard fight. I thought the story was great. I thought everything was great. Now that's what somebody was asking. Could we see in the future more actors and actresses in video games space? Would you like to see more actors and actresses in premier video games? Because let's be honest, some people would rather game and watch the the video, like the YouTube cinematic videos, than play the game. So imagine if you had your favorite actor, your actors in your favorite video game. Does it matter to you, or it's just not a big deal?
Well, at this point in time, if you look at movies and video games, there's almost little difference, right?
Mhm.
How the CGI could go is if they started putting as much work into these movies for CGI into video games,
Mhm.
it elevates it a little bit more. I understand why people don't want it because you don't want to be playing as The Rock, in a in a video game, right? Sometimes you just want to play as that character, but after a while, how many faces can someone make in a video game that's not representative of a real person?
Yeah.
And how many times have they been sued because they're like, oh, well, that looks like me. And they're like, well, we don't even know who you are. We just made a random person. They still get sued for it. So you might as well pay someone to use their likeness at this point. You
That's
might as
true.
well.
Because see, they had your boy from well, he's been in a lot of stuff, but he was Cal. Cal, that's an actor, and they
Mm-hmm.
took his likeness, put him in the game, that's cool, but if you're just using one person, that's one thing. But now you have a cast of several people that are famous in the video game. I mean, we're seeing it more and more nowadays, putting famous people in video games. But I think it is cool. I think we're gonna see more of that. So
I think a good solution may just be using like D-list actors.
uh
That way they could start getting recognized for bigger roles.
yeah.
And you can pay them less.
Plus they could get that recognition too.
Yeah. I
Because
mean, all these video games now have voice acting in it, and they're actually using mocap suits for a lot of things.
okay, that's
So I
okay. Okay.
I don't I don't
Yeah.
know how close we are to pretty much just playing a human.
Okay. Okay, that's what I always say that. I said that on PS3 when they came out with it. I said, man, these games, I said that when the PS3 first came out, I said, you're not going to be able to tell the difference between it's real and not real. And here we
Hmm.
are, PS5, and we're still getting there, still. But
I mean,
here's
even this podcast, we're not actually here. This is all CGI. No, I'm just kidding.
hey man, that's some pretty good CGI work, VFX right there, man. But speaking of video games, some of the games that I got really excited about, some of them that were really cool, was some of the. I think it was some of the Sony stuff. I mean, I'm always excited for Nintendo to see what they're going to come out with. But that's what some of the people were complaining about. They were saying that the Video Game Awards is all commercials. But then it's kind of like that's why you're there, is to watch the trailers to see what excellent video games are going to come out. And so it's kind of it's kind of give and take type of thing.
I mean, you have to have those what's coming out next to get you excited for the next round. The video game awards is just like the Emmys and everything. You don't really care about who actually wins. I mean, some of it you're like, oh no, they shouldn't have won game of the year, or they shouldn't have won this. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter,
That's
right? I mean, at the end of the day, you either played the video game and you loved it, or you played the video game you hate it, or you never even heard of it. It's the
that,
same with the movies.
that's it.
It is the exact same.
And you know, I really appreciate them coming out with all these like indie games. I think that's really cool. Like a lot of these games would have in the past just would have never gotten made. They would have never
Mhm.
gotten made. More people are playing games on their phones. They're playing them, you know, serious about it. Like, yo, man, I gotta get my Wordle. I gotta get my Candy Crush going. Man, I gotta,
Yeah.
you know, Brick Breaker. You know, I'm like, real people play games in their phones. All right, I'm down. Now, here's the thing, though. One game that was on the phone that people were really into. I can't think of it right now, but it kind of shocked me that people were really into this game that was an indie title, and I said, "A phone? You know, really?" But I can't remember which. Oh, I think it was like a jelly donut game. So
Mm.
people were playing this game where you're eating these jelly donuts. Okay. And so, you know, the concept is like, what? You know, eating jelly donuts, but you know, that's what people are into. Something simple they can get their hands on. It didn't cost a lot to make that. Because think about it, if somebody spends like millions of dollars on this game, nobody plays it. Man, they lost all that money. The studio lost all that money. It's like, dang, man. But if somebody can make a game that didn't spend a whole lot on it and people enjoy it, hey man, that's all right. You know, that's pretty cool.
You know, it's hard because you kind of want to root for indie players, right? Or indie games.
Hmm.
Uh, but if there was only indie games, the consoles will pretty much die.
That's okay. Now that's another point. That's another
It
good
it
point.
is so hard because and there's people who are like, oh well, I don't really play on console anyways. I play on PC. Well,
Yeah.
it's almost the same thing. There's only so many games you could that indie players could make that could make these companies money to build a new system to maybe upgrade graphics, upgrade different things. Uh, so uh, where's the line of what you like and don't like? Games on your phone and everything.
Yeah.
People love that because it's convenient. They love the
It's
convenience of things.
the
You know,
convenience.
like the Switch. The Switch is super
It's
convenient. You can take it different places, but you don't always want to carry around a giant screen and controllers with you. With your phone,
okay.
it's like, well, I gotta carry my phone everywhere I go anyways, because text messages or WhatsApp, Snapchat, all that, it's right here.
It's right there. You're good.
And I'm like, oh well, I could play while I'm waiting for this, or I gotta head to the bathroom. I'm on my phone. I gotta do just everything. Everything is right. It's super convenient. You can't bring a PS5 into the bathroom. If you do, you got issues.
You got issues. But okay, and here's the thing. I saw a deep sea diver game called Subnautical,
Mm-hmm.
and it looked pretty dope, and so I wanted to check it out. And so I downloaded it,
On your
and
phone?
I downloaded it on the PlayStation. So this is
Okay.
the indie game that's actually on PlayStation.
Okay.
And so it's on PlayStation and Xbox, and I think it's on the Switch too, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, some of these indie games are really taking off. And so, we can keep our eyes out for some of those indie games as well as the big games as well. But
Yeah.
speaking of games, there was a few on there that I did get really excited about. We had a certain DC game come out that had one last voice acting of a certain person that used to play Batman that has since passed away. And we did post about this, but we never really talked about it. Kevin Conroy, okay, did one last voice acting in the upcoming Rocksteady game that is the squad game, DC
Mm-hmm.
Squad. And that's the thing. It's so crazy because we know him as Batman. And so just to They said, yep, this game takes place in the universe of Arkham Asylum. Everybody knows Rocksteady did those games, and they were great. You know, they had Kevin Conroy voice, they had Mark Hamill voice the Joker, and so yeah, we're gonna get his voice one more time. We don't know if it's gonna be a lot in the game, but we know it's in there at least one time. So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and speaking of DC, should we just
Man, DC
out? Should we just iron it out right here?
Let's just I want to hear the marvelous things that DC may be doing or may have hurt people's feelings. There's some hurt feelings.
Let's just get right into it. We can't hold back any longer. We gotta just talk about this. Okay, so a few weeks ago, everybody's going crazy. People are sleeping at night. People are their sleep was affected. Henry Cavill announced that he's coming back. The studio told him, you are coming back. You, Sir Henry Cavill, are our Superman. The cape was still in the closet. The cape is in the closet in case I'm ready to come back. He comes back. We got him back. Yes, we see him on screen. Henry Cavill is Superman. Or is he? We are sitting
James Gunn.
James Gunn and this other fool takes over. So, okay, keep in mind, folks, this is the third regime coming in here. Coming in here saying, we're gonna reboot some things and keep some things. So then we start going, wait, what about Wonder Woman 3? Is that still happening? They said, hey man, Wonder Woman 3 is canceled. And we're like, no, we were gonna get the new suit. Okay, let's just do a little recap. We're not gonna do a big recap because we don't have all day. But
what's funny though is they were talking about the Wonder Woman coming out, and what's her name said that the script was all done and everything, and everyone there was like, we haven't seen anything. What you talking about? And then she sends it like the next day or maybe that same day, and people are like, this is a horrible script. What you doing?
Oh, you mean Patty Jenkins? Jenkins, man.
Like she put together last minute. Like, what do you mean we're canceled? I got it done.
That was okay. Let's just do a recap real quick. All right, so DC comes out. They see Marvel. Marvel does, Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, Hulk, whatever. Successful, 200 million, 400 million. Captain America 1 made about 300 million, something like that. Then they come with Avengers. No one knew that they could do Avengers. Nobody thought they could ever do that. Nobody knew they could ever do that. DC, complete rookies, immature, doesn't care about comic books, never read a comic book or watched a cartoon show ever. Studio heads say, gee, Marvel's making $1 million over there with this comic book thing. I think we can do that too. So here's what they do. They do a Superman movie, which was like, some people liked it, some people didn't. Then they do a Batman vs. Superman, which I really liked, but it had some issues in there, which a lot of people had issues with, but I liked it. I thought it was a great movie. You had Wonder Woman in there, Batman, Superman, and then you had emails of some of the other characters like Flash, Aquaman, Cyborg. You saw them in an email, which is weird. Why wouldn't you just put them in there as a cameo? But, whatever. So then they rush a Justice League movie. I think it came out like a year later. Like 1 year later. Like, did you fools not learn anything? Like, Batman versus Superman was actually a decent movie. It was paced well. And we're not going to go into all like the release the Snyder cut and all that. It was just messed up because Zack Snyder would have made a way better movie, in my opinion, but they were rushing it. You know what I'm saying? When you rush things, it can't come out good. You know what I'm saying? How can you make a movie 1 year later come out? You see what I'm saying? So that the whole thing was messed up. They rushed it. They did studio interference. They'd never read a comic book before. And then we got to like 2017. Barely any of the DC movies have made any money. Even it was so bad that the Suicide Squad movie made more money than what the Justice League movie made. How do you have that? Like, how does that even happen? You have some of the biggest characters ever, and the movie doesn't even make any money. Okay, so by the time you get to 2017, DC movies hadn't made any money. Then you have this one movie come out. What movie was it? Wonder Woman. It was the first DC universe. Okay, so meaning connected stories, DC, that actually made any money. Okay, and was profitable. Okay, so
people were so happy though because it wasn't just men being superheroes, like an actual movie with a woman in charge, and it was a good movie. It came out. It was a good movie.
Who thought? Okay, until that movie came out, no one thought a female lead superhero would work.
I was hoping for it because they already did like the Wonder Woman TV show, which I never got into it. Yeah, but I was like, oh, see, this is a good way to make sure it's not just all men. You know, they did the same thing with different TV shows with like Supergirl and everything.
Supergirl was good. I like the first
to have it as a movie. That's what was needed.
Yes, and that's the thing. Like, no one thought. Okay, let's just be real. No one thought Black Panther would work either. So both of those movies.
No, Black Panther. Everyone before the movie even came out. As soon as they announced it, though.
Okay.
Come on.
Yeah. We knew it was gonna be tight. We knew as soon as they put them in there in the Captain America movie, it was gonna be tight. But see, the studios were nervous. They were like, man, would we put a black dude in there? So those two movies were crucial.
Yeah. Okay. I think they were more nervous about because overseas, that's where it gets harder. Here in the United States, it's easier, but overseas, they're always scared to have someone else be the lead role, which is weird because I think that's just the old heads not wanting anything new.
Yeah, see, European male lead every single movie for 20 movies straight. Okay. That's where we were. And then we got to 2017 and everything changed. Now, here we are in 2022. And hey, guess what movies are the biggest dominators of the box office? Our comic book movies. So now, Space, if you think back to the golden age of comic book movies, now what would you say? X-Men 1. Yeah. Spider-Man 1. Okay. Yeah. That's the golden age.
Or the old Batman and Robin. Oh my gosh.
That's the golden age.
Remind me I gotta show my wife those.
Oh my gosh, dude. We're
gonna have another movie night.
Okay, so again, we going way back. Batman 1, like with Jack Nicholson as the Joker, man, I really liked that one. That was fun.
They were hilarious.
It was hilarious, and he's like shaking the guy's hand. And he got a
People hate on those movies. People hate on those movies, but they were so funny. They were so good.
Oh man, dude, those were good movies, dude. The golden age. Okay, and here we are now in 2022. People are coming back, reprising their roles. DC has a vision to say, hey man, none of these movies have made any money. Wonder Woman 1 was the first movie on the DC side it made $800 million. I mean, none of them did that. None of those movies did that, and that one did. Wonder Woman 2 comes out in the pandemic. They kick it out the door. Didn't believe in the film at all. Film makes no money. Now, they say, oh, that film was terrible. Wonder Woman 3, why even make it? Well, because because you had a great first movie and you didn't even give the second one a chance, and you didn't even let her write the script for the third one. So
How did
that's
that first Aquaman movie do?
okay. Then that was the
2018.
next one. 2018, you have another movie. And I said this. I said, why would you make an Aquaman movie when the Justice League movie didn't even work? Aquaman comes out, blows it out of the water.
Oh
Literally.
yeah.
And in the movie,
1.148 bill.
Bill over $1 billion. A DC movie make over $1 billion. Okay, so we're like, all right, let's be real here. DC starts to get their act together. Okay,
DC could do it, but they don't have the. I don't know. I don't know what they don't have.
Okay, people don't trust.
Besides
DC.
writers.
There you go. People. Okay, I asked you one time, Space, and I said, "Yo, DC is gonna do something here, and it's gonna be good." And you said, "No, they're not." They said because their writers are horrible.
It's true.
I think it was.
It's true. I said the writers for the movies are horrible. But when it comes to the cartoons,
that's what I don't get.
There's no one that can touch their cartoons.
Cartoons, TV shows, like the other one, like Smallville, Arrow, Flash. Well, the earlier Flash. Cartoons, video games. DC rocks it. Rocks it out of our comic books. Here's the thing, like you said, if they had the writers that Marvel had, like they would be way better. Because like the biggest hiccup of Batman vs Superman, Martha, how did you, Martha? How did you? Okay, I'm sorry. Aquaman was a hit. It looked like DC was getting their stuff together. So this is the second regime we're in now. So the first regime, all studio interference, never read a comic book, messed up all their movies, interfered with them. Second regime comes in. So this is in the Walter Hamada era. They start to get their stuff together. They make, a Joker movie that made $1 billion. They made the Aquaman, the Wonder Woman, Shazam. They made that movie.
But see, you can't put Joker in there because they don't want that connecting.
Oh, it didn't connect, but that was still under that umbrella of that.
But my question is, if their whole thing was, okay, well, we want to make ours connect, and we want to make it connect better than DC. I mean, better than Marvel, and they're like, oh well, this is separate. Oh well, this other Batman movie, this is separate too.
Okay. You can have that. You can have some stuff connect and some stuff be outside of it. Because look at it like this, like Cloverfield, right? So you could do a Cloverfield movie, and this is the sequel to Cloverfield, but then we can have another movie over here that's kind of like Cloverfield. Quiet Place, but it's not connected. But it could be made by the same studio. You see what I'm saying? So like you can have some stuff connected and some stuff separate.
But gee, their whole thing was to have their own Justice League. That's their whole thing. Now, I will admit, if they would have just said, hey, we have a multiverse going on, right? That's all they have to say. We have a multiverse going on, and, Batman's been in contact with this other Batman in this other universe, and they're figuring out whatever. Or maybe it wasn't even Batman. Maybe you had the Lanterns in it or something. It just start mentioning the multiverse, and then you start coming out with extra movies like this. That's fine. That's how you are supposed to do it. But here it's just like almost jarring that it's like, oh well, what does this have to do with this other movie? For like people who really aren't following as much, like what does this have to do with this? What does this have to do with this?
Okay,
they're not, they say one thing and they go completely the opposite way.
That's the thing. Like I agree with that 100%. Like I agree with that. Like, but like with DC, the way they've always done their comics like that, where like these comics are into the main storylines. Like you said, you got the Green Lanterns in there, you got Justice League, you got other people running in and out of stuff. But then you got other stories that are happening sort of in a Dark Horse Black Label issue that are kind of their own thing. You know, I like to use this example a lot. Like if you think of I hate to say it, there's those characters that are like in outer space, right? So you got like Mongrel, you got like Warworld, you got Lobo, okay? You got like those guys. And on like Marvel's side, you got Beta Ray Bill, Silver Surfer. Like Beta Ray Bill and Silver Surfer are never gonna rock on the same planet as Captain America. I mean, they might.
Right.
But they don't need to, because they can have their own story somewhere on, I don't know, whatever planets Marvel has. You know, they have other planets. They could be rocking, Planet Hulk, just like Planet Hulk. Remember that story? Like, that was a really good story.
But see, they, as like the cartoon series, they label it as such. But these recent movies are like, oh, well, we already have like a Batman out there, but we're going to make another one called The Batman.
Oh man. Okay.
At least you should label it something different, like maybe Batman's Beginnings or Batman, you know, just something that people realize like, oh, okay, this isn't actually correlating with who he is right now.
Yeah.
Or this is a different Batman altogether. They had to label it as such, so like people should not have to do research on the movie. It should just be like easily like, oh, I'm at the theater. I didn't do any research, but I heard there's a new Batman movie out. Like, oh, well, Batman's Beginnings. Oh, that's something that sounds like the beginning of his life, or this is something different. But how they label everything is like, oh no, this still correlates, but doesn't.
See,
like, at least to me, when I heard the Batman and the Joker, I'm like, oh, maybe they're in the same universe.
No. See,
there's just no structure.
No,
maybe that's the issue.
And if there's one thing we learned, there's never going to be a structure until now, until James Gunn and the other fool has taken over. So, because my thing is this, look at this, right? Okay, there is fans that have been fans since they screwed it up the first time, you know. So they're hanging on for hope. Then you get the second regime in there, things start to get a little bit better, and they gain new fans, and they screwed that up. So you have fans that are, you know, basically mad like 3 different times. You see what I'm saying? Because they've been ripped off 3 different times. Like, it's like, okay, what else could you do, like, honestly, to make the fan base even more mad? Okay, so we're not talking about the 7%ers, you know, the 10%ers that read all the comic books, that know who Lobo is, that know who Black Adam is, that know who. We're talking about general audiences. Okay, they will go to see an ex actor that they like in this role. You think about like a Booster Gold movie. So say you got okay, who's a likable actor right now that people like, that they wouldn't mind, like Ryan Gosling playing Booster Gold. Okay, so all right, they don't know anything about Booster Gold, but you say Ryan Gosling, you know, man, I saw him in that other movie, La La Land. I think I kind of like that movie. Maybe I'll check out a Booster Gold. You see what I'm saying? No one cares about Booster Gold, but the way you market it is like, all right, it's a fun movie, popcorn summer action movie with Ryan Gosling, intergalactic stuff, you know, flying around in space. People might go see that movie, you know? So here we are now. We're in a situation. We thought Henry Cavill was coming back. We thought Steven Spielberg was going to direct a Superman movie with Henry Cavill.
Hold on. You thought that. You thought that. What did I say? If I could turn back the last podcast.
Okay.
I said there ain't no way that's going to happen.
I think
There ain't no way. And I remember texting you. I'm like, I heard this, but there's absolutely no way it's going to happen.
No way that. I think I have it somewhere in the messages. But but I told you, Space. I said, man, if this happens, Steven Spielberg directs the next Superman movie. This is gonna be the GOAT of all the comic book movies. Steven Spielberg with a Superman. Oh man, that would have been crazy, man. Off the bicycle chain. But here's the thing: we couldn't have been higher on the hog, higher on the horse, and then disaster strikes. And they say, not only is the Wonder Woman movie canceled, and on top of that, we're going to burn you even more. Superman, hey man, nah, sorry man. We know you just announced to the world that you were coming back, but no, you're not going to be Superman. What? Okay, man, I'm surprised they didn't burn down that studio, man. I thought they was going to burn down the studio, bro.
Hey,
man,
for a second, I was like, oh, I knew James Gunn was still working for Marvel. I knew he was still working for Marvel.
Man, this fool is undercover, man. I'm telling you, man. This fool is still working for Marvel. Because look at this here. Okay. They're going to reboot. So, okay. Aquaman 1 made over $1 billion. Wonder Woman 1 made $800 million. They're saying Aquaman 2, I'm curious to see how it's going to do. Shazam didn't make a ton of money, but it was respectable. People liked it. It had good critic reviews. People would probably check out Aquaman 2.
Yeah.
They say people don't trust DC movies. The general audience, they're like, because think about this. Okay, Thor 4, I think it was called Love and Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
Most people said, man, that movie was kind of crap. Okay, it was pretty.
It
whack.
was not the greatest movie. And
People
are so angry with Taika Waititi. They're like, oh, he needs to be fired. He should never make another movie. It's like, calm down, y'all. Y'all going too far.
And
people can have bombs.
He gave us some good movies, though, man. That third Thor movie, what was it called? Ragnarok. Man, that was fun. I had fun with that movie. So as bad as the fourth Thor was probably as good as the third Thor was. That's how bad that one was and how good that one. Like, dang, well, so they'll cancel each other out. We'll give them a pass for this one because the other one was really good. And Taika Waititi has done some other really good movies, so we'll give him a pass.
Yeah.
But still, even that movie being that bad, man, it made over $700 million. So people trust the Marvel movies. They trust them because of what they did in the past. So the majority of their movies have been pretty good. So people are still going to go out and see those. But like with DC, they've had like a lot of blunders, fumbles, and so people don't really trust them. So like, okay, you have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson come up with the Black Adam movie, and he's the biggest movie star in the world apparently, and it couldn't make $400 million. You have a terrible Thor movie that comes out, and it makes 700, almost 800 million. Look at this. Okay, look at this one. Okay, The Rock came out with a movie called Rampage, based on an
I forgot about that
video game.
I still haven't seen that movie. I forgot all about that movie.
Okay, guess how much money that movie made? $400 million. Okay, so that movie made more than this Black Adam movie. And we're like, all right, come on now. So the audience, I'm a DC fan. Everybody's a DC fan. But you have to look at the audience. They are not on board with where DC is right now. So James Gunn says, look, burn to shine. Burn to shine. This is the only way we're going to get there is we got to burn it all down. And I can't help but wonder, are they leaving money on the table? So talks are, Jason Momoa posted a picture next to Lobo. And he's all excited. And we're saying, could Jason Momoa be playing Lobo? Okay, so now keep in mind, now he's Aquaman, right? He's the Aquaman dude, but he's Lobo. Jason
He, I
Momoa
think he
is
already knew he was
Lobo.
done with Aquaman. That's the only thing I can think of. I think he already knew he was done with Aquaman. So he was like, well, recast me as Lobo.
Okay, so
That's
DC,
the only thing I can think of.
see, DC likes to lose money. Let's just be honest about that. Okay, so DC likes to, or Warner Brothers, they like losing money. Like, oh, there's $1, there's $1 million, there's 300 million. We'll leave that on the table. Let's just say, call them the money wasting company. Okay, how much money are they leaving on the table by not having Gal Gadot come back as Wonder Woman, by not making that third Aquaman movie, by not having Henry Cavill come back as Superman? Because here's what you could have did. Here's what you should have did. Here's what you didn't do. Okay, you didn't. You could have ended it like a swan song, like our farewell to the fans, where you could have connected the old universe to the new one, and you could have
Mm-hmm.
burned it to the ground in a symphonic sapphire of an ember of one last flame. But they didn't do that because they said, we don't care about your feelings. We're going to burn it to shine.
So I had a question for you. Do you think that they felt like they had no choice but to burn down because one of their stars has gone completely off the rail that was supposed to kind of connect what was going on next?
Oh, but again, keep in mind, that
I,
was the old regime. That's not this
no, no,
regime.
no.
Okay.
I'm asking you, do you think because of that one individual, I don't even want to say his name, that one
Say his
individual
name, say his name.
who's supposed to play a character dressed in red that goes really fast, do you think because he messed up so much, they're like, do we want to recast or rewrite him in some way that's supposed to match up with what James Gunn was trying to do? I mean, not James Gunn.
Yeah, James Gunn.
Yeah, what he was trying to do, or should we just go ahead and
Okay. Here's
just say burn it and let's start over because this dude messed up everything.
he messed up
Like
everything.
like
Okay.
we can't even put his name in any credits for the next 20 years, and
he can't even promote his own movie because he might be in court or in jail when the movie comes out. So he can't even do a press tour for it. Okay,
he
we
can't
won't.
he can't do that because just in case a kid likes his movies. Sorry, I'm sorry. I apologize.
We won't say his name. Say his name when no one
I,
is around you. Okay, don't say his name. Say
I
his
ain't saying his name at all.
name. So anyway, I would say this: that they didn't do that. They didn't end it on a good note because of what's the name? Like you said, I think they could have done that. They could have gave Henry Cavill one last Superman movie. Like you said, they have a 10-year plan. So you couldn't have spent 2 of the years finishing the stuff that was already in the works, already in the pipeline. Because think about it, the old regime, which was Walter Hamada. So this dude was like Mortal Kombat type of dude. He was like that kind of. New Line Cinema. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch the Mortal Kombat, the ones they have now. I watched the cheesy ones with the from the 90s or whatever.
Yeah.
Those were so bad. But anyway, so anyway, he was doing those kind of movies. He came out of New Line, so he wasn't even a Warner Brothers guy. You know what I'm saying? And so they had him doing DC movies like he didn't even know what he was doing. So man, there's a meme of Superman kicking Walter Hamada so hard that he flies into the ocean.
Oh my
man,
gosh.
it's awesome. It's the best thing you ever seen. But so they finally got him out of there. So that was his plan. Was he wanted to do that movie? He wanted to replace Superman with Supergirl and replace Batman with Batgirl. And so they were going to come out with this Batgirl movie. They brought back Mike Keaton to be as like a Nick Fury mentor. They had this whole plan. And we're like, what? Michael Keaton? And everybody said, guess what they said? Maurice, what did they say? Michael Keaton, Batman Beyond.
Everyone was so hyped for that. I mean, I actually was like, you know what? DC might pull this off. DC might steal my heart.
Batman Beyond. Terry McGinnis coming in there, super robotic movie. It would be insane, but you can't do a Batman Beyond in current time. It's got to be in the future. It's got to be. You know what I'm saying? The tech. Oh man, dude,
they could have very easily done it. But
there was in the works a Michael Keaton Batman movie. We don't know what it was, but they canceled it, and we're like, wait a minute. So James Gunn had a meeting.
The Batgirl movie, they finished that movie.
Oh yeah, that was done. But Batgirl. Okay, here's the thing. Batgirl movie was a TV movie. It was a straight to HBO Max movie, so it wasn't like coming out in theaters and stuff like that. I mean, maybe it might have, but like, I don't know. I saw some footage of the Batgirl movie. I think it looked pretty good. Like, they could have put it on HBO Max and it's done. They put it's a made for TV, made for streaming movie. You know, it's not the greatest movie. But, you know, if you're a fan, you appreciate DC movies and art, you like that movie, you know?
The problem is that they spent so much money on that.
Like 90
so
million?
Much
like
money.
90 million, I think.
For them just say, we're not going to put it out.
They think a tax write-off?
Yeah.
You get that write-off.
But,
okay, yeah.
Out of everything, why would you announce it then? Why would you even have the actors announce it? Why would you have promo footage? Why would you do posters? And then
But see,
and that's if it was bad. Like if it was, original Iron Man bad, like back in the 80s Iron Man bad, or like old Captain America, old Captain America.
No, 1990.
If it was that bad, that's our only reason why you shouldn't bring it out. But
okay, the Batgirl movie, man, we'll never know, man. I saw some footage of the Batgirl movie. I liked it, but that David Zaslav, man, he came in from Discovery, never read a comic book before, doesn't even know what comic book characters are. Man, he came out and said, man, I'm shutting this down. I don't blame him because he's just looking at the numbers. He's like, man, I see this spreadsheet. This is going to lose us a whole bunch of money and respect from the audience. So, man, we better kill this, right? But, okay, here's what I would have done if I was on the board. Okay, I say this, man, Mo to the space. If we were on the board of DC Studios, if we were on the board, this is what they should have did. Okay, so we start off, right? Okay, James Gunn, Peter Safran, we got these guys in here. Score. Hey, man, we know y'all, you want to do your thing, but let me do my thing. We're going to let you do your thing, but let me do my thing. Okay, so right. We're going to keep the fans happy because who's our biggest customer is the fans. Okay, so we're going to do this old DC joint just like how they did in the comic books. We're going to finish off these storylines. We're going to come out with this Flash movie. We're going to do the second Aquaman movie. We're going to bring back Henry Cavill and end it the way we started. Because why? Because we already told the fans that we were going to do this. Even if we lose money, even if it's bad, even if we lose money, we're going to show the fans that we appreciate them. This is our letter. This is our letter to the fans. So we said, okay, we're going to start the universe. We're going to end the universe the way we started and let everyone know that after this movie, after the Man of Steel 2 comes out, there's going to be, after Wonder Woman 3 comes out, there's going to be a reboot. Okay, so then you don't have to do a Flash movie. It doesn't matter what the Flash movie does because it's everybody knows they're going to reboot it. Because now, guess what people are saying? Why should I go and watch Aquaman 2? Why should I watch Shazam 2? Because they're going to reboot it anyway. And then none of this is going to matter. So why should I even watch it? So see, again, what did I say earlier? Warner Brothers just loves losing money. Hey, oh, that's $100 million. I will leave that on the table. Batgirl, that's $90 million. I will leave that on the table. Oh, that's another $50 million. This is the company that loves to lose money. But me,
and they're good at it.
Lose money,
at least they're good at losing money. Like if you gotta be good at something, right?
Oh my gosh, you guys!
Like we're not good at a lot, but we're good at losing money.
Okay. So. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, you want to talk about Marvel? I got a ton of stuff. I'm gonna keep. I can keep going. I'll let you talk about some Marvel stuff. You want?
We're about an hour in. I know. You gotta be at work early.
Yeah.
I gotta be at work.
Okay.
But with Marvel,
okay.
They're just trying to confuse people because the last thing that I actually was reading about, which I kind of text you about, was why can't I remember his name?
Oh,
my brain's not working.
Red Hulk?
No, he came back to Disney. Bob Iger.
Iger.
Bob Iger. He came back to Disney, and he is canceling multiple movies and TV shows.
I don't believe that.
The reason why they want to cancel them is because they said what was happening with all these new people, they were so busy focusing on quantity instead of quality. So he wants them to focus on the quality of these movies and TV shows coming out. Which, if that's true, that'd be good. Make sure there's less gaps in there as far as like, oh well, how did this happen? There's less questions, right? If it's not true, great, because I want all the content. I am enjoying what Disney is doing as far as giving us stuff for Marvel, giving us stuff for Star Wars, giving us stuff for anything that is interesting to you. They're just like, oh, we got you. Yeah. Right now, if Disney's like, hey, we could buy DC.
Yeah, they'll be as much money as they're losing. As much money as they like to lose.
We will probably actually have like a Marvel versus DC movie, which I know you want.
That for years,
I know you want.
David. I would get a kick out of that. Marvel versus DC crossover.
Do you think? Of course, this is going to be down the road, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that with James Gunn being there, it makes it more possible?
I think yes. I think James Gunn being at DC, that's what they said, crossover, because one of the films they shot, I think Guardians 2 or 3, was on the set of Suicide Squad or Peacemaker or something like that. Like one of the, they did a DC and Marvel thing on the same set. I was like, what the heck? But I think that'd be hilarious to do a DC. But I mean, with Iger coming back, okay, so DC has Zaslav took over. Now Disney Marvel has Iger coming back. I still don't believe they're going to cancel because money is on the line, and Marvel and Disney understands no, I shouldn't say that, because they put out that Buzz Lightyear movie, streamed it on the same day. I was like, is this Buzz Lightyear? Man, I thought this thing was still in theaters, and I'm looking at this on Disney Plus. Like, are you kidding me? A Buzz Lightyear movie, and they're just throwing it on the streaming. I'm like, dang, is it like that?
That was on that hard time where they need to have people sign up for their streaming service. Mm-hmm. But also is this pandemic going to get worse? Of course, they didn't know. There's like thousands of movie theaters that close. Thousands.
Yes.
When you start hearing that, it's like, well, is our movie theaters, because they gotta promote the movie theaters, right? So they gotta have them play the trailers, have them get the movies. Yeah, most most movie theaters actually pay for getting them if they're not as big, but there's a lot of work that goes into them and making sure that just doesn't go into the black market right away.
See, there's a
Like there's so much, and do you
okay,
think for them they had to figure out, is it worth it? You know, kind of like HBO Max had, or HBO, I should say, had to do, is figure
yeah,
out, okay,
was
is it worth actually going to the theaters right now? Uh, will we make money doing that?
yeah, they lost so
I
much
don't
money.
know.
HBO put all their movies on the app at the same day as it came out in theaters. They
Yeah.
must have lost like $1 billion, and they
Oh,
didn't tell their
easily.
yeah they didn't tell their directors that they were going to do that. Their actors and directors, so they lost so much money. The only movies that made any money, I think, were Dune and Godzilla versus Kong. And Godzilla versus Kong came out literally like when the pandemic was not even over. It was like
Hmm.
barely over, and it still managed to make a ton of money. I mean, I was shocked that they would even do that. And so, I mean, that was the dumbest thing you could have ever done. Almost sank the entire company. So now Disney doing that, it's like you didn't learn from what Warner Brothers did. And so, yeah,
Well,
turning
yeah.
red, yeah, turning red, and what was the Buzz Lightyear? Those were supposed to be great movies, and they just threw them on streaming. They had that other guy. What was the other dude running Disney? See, Iger and
Yeah.
Paycheck. Okay, so they said, "Hey, man, this is the last paycheck." Okay, so Iger coming back. That's probably a good thing for you guys. Oh yeah, it's getting a little late, but yeah. So the last thing I want to say is that okay, so they're talking about Henry Cavill being someone else in DC, so he could still be in the DC universe, but as a different character. Okay, so they did that to Henry Cavill. Wonder Woman is no longer Gal Gadot is no longer Wonder Woman. Could she be someone else? Could Henry Cavill be someone else? Okay, think about this. Henry Cavill, who could he be? Jor-El. Okay, imagine Henry
Would
Cavill playing Jor-El.
would you want him playing just a CGI Jarrell, or the computer Jarrell, or would you want his story to begin, or Superman's story to begin with a Jarrell story leading into coming to coming into Smallville?
Now that would be interesting. That would be I would prefer a Krypton Henry Cavill on Krypton Jor-El doing diligent works, helping out in the community, building the spaceship. I mean, it doesn't have to be. He doesn't have to have a lot of airtime, but they could reference him, and like you said, he could be a CGI. Um, and guess okay,
You know
if
who else people have said
who was it?
they want him either playing um, Bizarro Superman, which would be
Oh,
hilarious,
that would be
or
hilarious.
uh, the cybernetic one. Why can't I remember his name?
Oh, Hank Henshaw,
Yeah.
or Superman. That would be interesting. I don't know. There's so many possibilities. Maybe the Bizarro Superman, but I think it depends on who they get as Superman. And guess
Hmm.
what name they threw out there to play Superman? Okay, so we just saw this happen, right? With Batman. Okay,
Wasn't it?
what's his name? Rob Pattinson was Batman. Okay, now a younger Batman. So they're saying, hey, we want to go for a younger Superman. And guess which name they threw out there?
Go ahead.
Zac Efron.
Now I've been hearing someone different.
You been hearing somebody different?
I've been hearing someone different.
Okay.
I've been
I
hearing your boy who played in Creed not too long ago.
Oh, you mean Michael B. Jordan? Man, that
They were
was like
talk-
20 years ago. They were saying they were going to
This
put
just
Michael
came
B.
out.
Jordan.
This just came out like 3 days ago.
3 days? No, that was like 3 years ago. They were saying.
No,
Michael
I'm
B.
talking
Jordan-
about the article I just saw. The article I just saw came out 3 years ago, or 3 days ago.
3 days ago. Man, I was reading that like 2 years ago. And what's the name that did Star Trek was going to direct it? The director of Star Trek or Star Wars. What's that dude's name? I can't think of his name. But he did the first Star
that's
Wars
how
movie.
that's how I know it's getting late. So I'm starting to forget names and everything, and
But yeah,
we too old to be staying up late.
Zac Efron is gonna be Superman.
Zac Efron is like 40 years old now.
Is he 40? No,
I don't know.
He looks like he's 25. He'll come with a musical number. We're all in this together. All right. Well, thanks, Space. Appreciate
I look forward to our next conversation because I want to know who you want to play the next Wonder Woman.
Oh, you know who they said?
No, no. That's next time. That's next time.
Yeah, we'll save. All right. Hey,
because I have some theories of who I would want.
Okay. All right. Well, Space. Hey, what'd you say, man? Oh, sorry. Sorry. I wasn't paying attention.
What was that? I was too busy playing games on my phone. I was checking out those new video games we were talking about.
Hey, Brick Breaker. you know what it is.